Good afternoon and welcome to Del Mar on a beautiful Sunday here in Southern California as we get set to close out the racing week. I'm Kurt Hoover, be with you throughout the afternoon and the rest of the meeting. Joining me, Ryan Flanders. And Ryan, you and I were just playing weatherman here. There's no need for weatherman in this. Every single day this meet's been the exact same.
I think I'm going to tell my son to become a weatherman in San Diego.
Yeah.
Make a lot of money and do very little work.
75 degrees, breeze off the Pacific, everything's perfect. A very good card. The features of Solana Beach, that's named for the town right up the street, $150,000 purse. I thought a very challenging card today, Ryan.
Well, we talked about this the last time. I was born in La Jolla, so I knew I would pick the winner of the La Jolla Handicap.
All right.
I grew up in Solana Beach, so I know I have the winner of the Solana Beach.
I like the confidence. Let's get right to it. First race kicks things off on the grass, mile on the turf, and a pretty competitive maiden race to get this thing underway.
This is interesting. So I usually handicap horses and trips. I handicapped. There was just so much that jumped out at me with number 5 Conducted. He is the 3-1 morning line favorite. He's currently 9-2. I'm hoping he's going to be an overlay. We'll find out. But it's interesting. So I went through and I looked at the odds of that race with Brandt. Brandt, the monster, won. I think he had over 100 Beyer speed figure on debut. The race has been validated. The third-place finisher was another Bob Baffert runner that ran off and hid, won by 7 or 8 lengths second time out. So obviously a live race. Every horse in that race was an overlay, except for Conducted, which I find interesting. No disrespect to Mr. Harigi and ACL Espinoza, but not the highest level connections you'll ever see, and clearly took a little money in a 9-horse field. So I thought they thought a little of this one going into this race, and this horse did keep pace through the far turn with Brandt. He galloped out well. He did have a little bit of trouble that day. I upgraded the performance. I had that race kind of uphill, a little bit slower than normal, so he was going to have a tough time coming from off the pace anyway. Gets Hector Barrios, gets more ground today. I think there's certainly a lot of upside with him. I think the race is wide open, and because of that, I don't want to spread for a horse that might be one of the shorter prices, so I'm probably going to end up singling the 5.
I picked the same horse, and definitely bred for the grass by Mendelssohn. That's a no-brainer there. I thought a nice, even try. Love Barrios getting on, so I picked Conducted. And, Ryan, I like the song, Biggie, 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 so I got to like the horse a little bit. The dam was a 5-time turf winner. She made over $200,000, had some trouble at Ellis Park, obviously in for the ship and win. So I went 5-9 to kick things off. And that song's going to be in my head all day long. Second race kicks off the pick 4 scratch, Cherry Cider. Looks like we get another Baffert monster lineup for this one in Explorer.
Yeah, it looks that way. So I've heard. I mean, we'll find out. They still have to do the running. First time out, you never know. I did pick Explorer on top. I will say that if you're looking for a knock potentially on the bottom side, Collection's Choice, the dam was all turf, all route, but certainly some fast works. Love the gate 2 back. Don't know what to make out of the quarter-mile workout last time.
Yeah, that is unusual.
You don't see that every day, especially from Mr. Baffert. But I think the 6 is a little bit interesting. Latte Love, not just because I do not sleep and I love coffee, but I do like these works. The last 3 all gate works. The bottom side, Lady Evelyn, unraced. This is the first foal to make the track. Thought enough of her to breed her to Constitution, so I think that's interesting. Edwin Maldonado is Doug O'Neill's speed guy. Like I said, nice outside draw. And then I moved inward a little bit for Cosmo Friday, who I think has an outside swing. Another one of Doug O'Neill's runners. I know you watched this one on tape. Massive mid-race move. Got knocked around a little bit at the start, and then just... I don't know what happened, but this horse made up, 7-8 lengths in just the blink of an eye, and actually was idling into horses and still gaining. So this one may want more ground later. Debuted at a mile at Ellis Park, but is eligible for the ship and win. Gets blinkers, and certainly passed the eyeball test on debut.
I went for Explorer, too. Very good work tab. One note on Rivera. This horse was entered a couple weeks back, scratched at the gate. That's why there's that gap there. But she had trained well into that race. She was getting bet that day, and I think she'll get bet today. 3-5 for me in the second. Third race, on to the turf. Field of 8. Go here.
I really tried hard to get away from the horse that I liked, but the price was so big that I had to stick with number 1, the Rabbi.
We're on the same page.
Okay, so the pace for me is a killer here. I'm a big pace handicapper. There's not a whole lot of speed in this race, and the Rabbi has none of it. So he's going to have to get some help up front. I don't know how that's going to pan out, but again, the price is just so big. I've got to stick with him. patient is what I wrote in my notes. Patient early, just mild urging in the lane.
Super gallop out.
It galloped out well, but like the last 70 yards, it was like, okay, the race is over now. Okay, it's time to get my fitness in, and sprinted through the line and then galloped out nicely. I've always thought a lot of this horse. I didn't know what happened in starts 2 or 3 last year, but a very nice debut. Did not look like a 40-1 winner that day. I thought would take to the Rattle Ground, and then just, I don't know what happened. Just never woke up in those other races, but he's big, isn't he? Like 12 or 15-1?
Same horse for me. 15-1 the Rabbi.
Okay.
I thought he finished well. He galloped out in front. The race has been validated. Bad Uncle Barry came back and won big. So we're both on the Rabbi at a price in race 3. On to the 4th. This does kick off the pick 6. I think the first time we've had this race, Cowbred Maiden 20. So this is the bottom. A couple scratches in here. The 4, 11, 13, 14 out. The 12, Mr. Pippins gets in. I thought this race was a nightmare. What do you do here, Ryan?
It's so funny. I'm glad you said that because I'm like, Maiden State Bred 20. I've never seen this before.
Right?
It is the first. Okay, that's interesting. So basically all droppers, with the exception of some horses maybe shipping in from Los Alamitos at the evening meet, the mixed breeds. Rumpus and Paradise is going to be my top pick for one reason only, the trip. Stumbled at the start, lost a length, lost his quickness, had a nice turn of foot to get into that pocket, which I really like to see. Did take some money on debut as well. Was 4-1 morning line, went off at 9-2.
Interesting. She's a filly against the boys both times. You don't too often see that. I thought was kind of interesting, Ryan.
Yeah, and I don't like Edwin off because I love Edwin Maldonado, but Escobedo is Luis Mendez's second guy that he likes to go to, and they hit at a positive ROI. So certainly some upside from a price perspective with Rumpus and Paradise. There are 2 fillies in here. I believe, Tina's Paradise, number 6, is the other filly. I did go to closing time for my second choice, another trip horse. Got knocked around a little bit at the start, lost a length. Showed big speed to recover, which I like to see. And earned the pocket at what I call exacerbated fractions, where that kind of poor start and then blasted off. So probably ran just as fast as the leaders did that day. So 3-5 for me in the 4th.
I picked the same horse on top, Rumpus in Paradise. Blinkers come off, comes out of a better race. And I thought the horse coming from the nighttime race at Los Al had a look. Desert Cat. Watched his race. I thought he ran pretty well. He didn't break real sharp. Finished nicely. He gets blinkers. He draws towards the outside. So I went 3-7 in race number 4.
That was my only other upgrade was the Los Al.
Just an interesting looking horse. 5th race. This is a good race. Field of 11 set to go here. What do you do in this one?
I'm going to take a swing with a big number. Number 2, Skipper's Pride for me.
Do you know who Skipper's Pride's sister is?
I do. Sister.
Susanna.
Who
I owned a piece of and we won the red carpet with. Yeah, when I saw that name, he won a grade 3.
Okay,
This is her half-brother, so I am looking very forward to seeing this gelding run today because she's the best horse I was ever around, and I haven't been around too many. So anyway, go ahead.
How cool is that? I mean,
really
I wrote
cool.
down one thing, and it's a half to...
Right. Really cool.
To Susanna.
Indiana
grade 3
bred.
at 11 furlongs, but does...
Yeah.
That's noteworthy because it
First
was
time
on
turf.
grass. This is first-time turf. Like the trainer switch. Statistically speaking, Diodoro hits at 40%, 8 for his last 20, running on the green stuff. Big upside there. And I don't know if you watched this trip at Century Mile.
I did not.
Oh, my goodness. It picked something. It went wrong in that race. I made a lot of notes. Off slow, broke inward, lost 2 lengths at the start, raced high-headed, was hesitant while gaining, which I like to see. A horse that really is not comfortable, that is still gaining. Got cut off twice. The first time lost all kinds of speed and then was recovering into the far turn, got dropped on, and got basically completely eliminated from that race. So that was a line through. The other races kind of stack up okay. So I excuse the effort. I do like Diego Herrera. I like the draw, and I love the price. 15-1.
Yeah, I'm rooting for the horse for sure. I picked Hot Box. He's a very, very fast horse. He's drawn outside. He's won in this course. He comes off a really good win at Los Al. I thought Slew's Joy had a really weird trip. Finished up well. I prefer him if he was back on the dirt, but he was dropping back like it was going to be ease, and then he came rolling late. So I thought he had a look too. So tricky race. I went the Hot Box on top. 6th race kicks off the pick 4. Field of 9 going this one, Ryan.
I landed on number 4, Recycle Your Heart. From a speed figure perspective, it's not great, but it was an open 16. Multiple winners, much better than these, at least in terms of the
significant drop in class.
It is. It just wasn't a fast race, but it does match up well versus these. Horrible trip last time. Did benefit from an honest pace. which honest to me means the second quarter and beyond is pretty quick, so it sets up for the closers. So got a little help there, but was herded outward and bumped significantly in the hindquarters, lost a little speed there, and then targeted bad in between spots.
Rough trip all the way around.
Much of the race. Lost all kinds of speed, steadied, cut inward, was cautiously ridden, lost another couple lengths. So I think big upside. And I also think there's a lot of speed in here. You look to the inside, you look a little bit to the far outside. You've got some speed, so hopefully we'll be able to come running late. Petite Ange for Kent Sweezy, I think, ran huge last time. First time for him from Ryan Hansen, who was a little bit cold this meet. I think you have to give that a little bit of a push forward. Second time off the layoff. And Tyler Bays.
Yeah,
he's got one ride that I want to talk about later. He looks like a young Tyler Bates.
Yeah, he's been riding real well. I like the same two horses. I thought Petite Ange ran well. She ran into a Sweezy dropper. That Tennessee Honeybee was taking a massive class plunge. She got claimed. She won again. Petite Ange to me ran a winning race. I think she gets a great trip. So I put her on top, and Recycle Your Heart, troubled trip. I'll put her second. 8-4 for me in the 6th. On to the 7th, the Solana Beach Stakes, $150. Scratch the 1 Me So Fancy, scratch the 9 Dory Miller. I'm a big fan of Grand Slam Smile. She's a really, really good filly. She ran very well in defeat, and to me, she's going to be awful tough to beat today for Anton Georgi and Sean McCarthy. She's just a class filly. She is,
but I'm going to take a shot at her. I do like Sneaker. Sneaker for me, I'm not big on pedigree, but in races like this that are eligible for Calbred sired horses, I did give a closer look to Sneaker, who's by Oscar Performance, who hits at 16% overall on turf as a Kentucky sire. I would have to think if that horse were out here, that 16% might be significantly higher. 2 times against Calbreds that I could find, only 2 in terms of turf routes. One of them was a victory last time out, and I thought was an impressive victory. Took some heat and then drew off late. She's going to be my top choice. And moving to the outside with Wink and Grin, I thought had a kind of a sneaky bad trip last time.
Kind of a tough trip, yeah.
It was tough. I don't like those blanket finishes. To me, it's kind of like they're either all good or they're all bad.
Right.
It was kind of a blanket finish, which I'm not a big fan of, but had handled Calbreds, 2 open tries last time. This one makes sense. And everywhere you look in this race, there's a lot of pace. So I do think they're going to be heated up there, which I think does leave Grand Slam Smile a little bit vulnerable, potentially. I know she's closed before, but it has usually been at shorter distances. And I think she'll be forward and on the lead and possibly compromised.
Good race, Solana Beach, $150,000. Late double time. 8th race, I thought a grab bag. $20,000 claimers. I like the way Nation won. I thought he won as much the best. Claimed off Michael McCarthy by Campazan, who's done a decent job with a small barn. Horse he beat came back to win. So I went to Nation on top, but I can make cases for Doo-Wop Don, who's a pro on the comeback for Blaine Wright. Manchild shortening up is going to be Fitch, get a good trip. Known Idea, Gypsy Tears, El Diablo Rojo. They all have a shot, I thought, Ryan, in a very tricky race.
It is a tricky race. I did land on one of those that you mentioned, Manchild, for George Papapadromo. Second off the claim, cuts back in distance. I have a term that I use is called leapfrog. So that opening day, that track was late. It was outside. They just passed one another. Like all day long they did that. This one hung around a little bit. Manchild made an early move, was stuck a little bit wide, albeit on the better part of the track, in my opinion, that day. Dueled down the backstretch that kind of hooked up. And this one stuck around. Did get kind of leapfrogged late, but I thought stuck around well enough. And you can see Diego, he's got no control in the lane. And, in fact, Umberto Rispoli, good on him for trying to help Diego pull this horse up. But the horse actually stayed around while coasting through the lane. So I think the cutback makes a lot of sense for him. I'm not big on that stat for Georgie. 5% with his last 60 starters on the cutback, but he was going to be my top choice just because of the price mainly.
Yeah.
And El Diablo Rojo, number 7 for Sean Williams, Juan Hernandez. That Lone Star race I upgraded, lost a length at the start, and then I had this one spinning 3, 4, 5, 6 wide. Huge kick down the stretch to get the job done. And I did want to mention something about Tyler Bays, if I could. I don't know if you watched this race, Gypsy Tears. It looks pretty vanilla.
I bet on the horse that day. It was a very, very good ride.
It was a great ride, but Tyler does something that looked very thoughtful and very skillful. He hit right-handed, top of the stretch, quick left hand. I mean, 2 switches of the stick within 3 or 4 strides, and then switched 2 more times in the lane, which I've never seen him do in a long time. So I had to point that out because I really think a lot of how he's riding this week.
It was a good ride and a good win. 9th and final wraps it up. I got to be honest, Ryan. These are my least favorite races. Maiden claimers going long on the grass because for the most part, and I think this race is a good example, you get horses they paid too much for it, haven't panned out. Horses that are just kind of running in place, just a complete grab bag. I took Willa T. She was avoided claim last summer. She's entered not to be claimed by Yakteen. I don't love her, but I picked her. And I thought Global Consort on the outside had an outside look. Good work, Tab. Needed the last race, so I went 10-12, but good luck here.
Good luck. I went a different direction. I landed on Storm Lady.
She's had some rough trips. I could see her, too.
The last one was really interesting. I wrote patient early, quiet in the far turn, and there was a horse backing up towards Storm Lady in the lane. And I think Hector Berrios thought, I'm not getting there anyway. This horse idled to the finish, and I wrote down full tank at wire.
Should like 2 turns, too.
I believe so.
Yeah.
So he sticks around, gets some class relief, which I like. And I did move to the 1 Rehearsal. I'm not a big fan of these horses. They're troubled over and over and over. But this last trip was an absolute nightmare. It was 3 wide in the first turn. Little bit of a steady early. And then I had this one 8 lengths back, entering the backstretch. And about 2 to 3 lengths back, at what point in the race? I think it was at the 5/16. So this one made up about 6 lengths during that race, during the fastest part of the race. I had this race as very fast or hot. So like those fractions internally for Rehearsal were just off the grid. Absolutely had an excuse to tire. It does show up a little bit in the running line. You just would have to be paying attention to the pace. I think Rehearsal fits as well.
Yeah, grab bag in the last. Very challenging card. Ryan, thanks for the insight. Good luck today. Let's both make some money, close out the week. Thank you for watching. Post time 38 minutes away. I'll join you in the paddock at about 20. Thanks for watching.
I didn't even